Alright, real question. When was the last time a game let you turn into a human blender, sprint up a skyscraper, steal a guy's entire identity, and then suplex a helicopter? And it actually felt good, because that's the lane Prototype lives in, and in 2025, that lane is either a timeless power fantasy or a rusty old freeway full of potholes. So today, I'm answering one thing. Is Prototype still worth playing at the end of 2025? Not in a nostalgia brain way. Like, if you buy it right now, install it, boot it up, does it still hold up, or does it fall apart the second modern hardware touches it? First, what Prototype still does better than a lot of newer games? Here's the thing that Prototype nails. Movement plus violence plus freedom in a way that still feels kind of rare. You're not just fast, you're a missile with legs. You can sprint up buildings like gravity is optional. You can glide across the city and chain movement into attacks. Combat isn't press X to do a cool animation, it's you choosing how to ruin everyone's day. And that is why, even in 2025, people still go back to it. It has that open world, do whatever you want energy, except instead of stealing cars, you're stealing DNA. Also, the consumption mechanic is still disgusting in the best way. You eat someone, you take their form, their memories, their access. That's not just a gimmick, it supports the whole fantasy. You're not a hero, you're not a soldier, you're the problem. And if you're the kind of player who loves systems you can mess with, Prototype is basically a playground. Okay, but does it feel dated? Yeah, here's where. Let's not lie to ourselves, Prototype is from 2009. Some stuff absolutely shows its age. Let's start with the city. Manhattan in Prototype can feel samey. Lots of similar streets, similar blocks, not much interior detail. It's functional, not beautiful. The mission structure. A lot of missions are go here, kill / consume this, escape this, repeat. It's not horrible, it's just older open world design where they stretch content with challenges and repeats. The combat can get messy. When everything pops off, infected hordes, military, explosions, sometimes you're not strategizing. Sometimes you're just buttoning your way through the chaos and hoping the lock-on doesn't have a stroke. And finally, the story. Prototype story is fine. The core mystery is interesting. Alex Mercer, memory loss, conspiracy, infection. But don't go in expecting modern cinematic writing. It's more like cool concept, solid momentum, occasionally cheesy delivery. So yeah, it's dated, but here's the question that actually matters. Is it dated in a way that ruins it, or dated in a way you can laugh at while causing war crimes? For most people, including me, Option 2. The real 2025 issue, will the game even behave on my platform? This is where worth it gets practical. For PC, Prototype is still on Steam, and it still pulls mostly positive recent reviews, around 72% positive in the last 30 days when I checked. That said, old PC ports can be weird on modern setups. PC Gaming Wiki literally calls out fixes, including problem tied to input device polling and other modern hardware quirks. So on PC, the experience can range from boots fine to why is this acting like my controller is haunted? Console, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the series. There's the Prototype Biohazard bundle, Prototype 1, 2, and DLCs, on both Xbox and PlayStation stores. On PlayStation store listing, it even mentions it's playable on PS5 with the usual backwards compatibility disclaimer. So access-wise, you can absolutely still buy and play these games. But performance-wise, the 2015 HD releases have a reputation. Digital Foundry's analysis back then basically said, yeah, it's 1080p, but it's not exactly a dream upgrade, and performance can struggle. GameSpot's summary of that analysis mentions Prototype targeting 30 FPS with dips, and that the remaster wasn't a major overhaul. So if you're the type who needs buttery smooth modern performance, you might get annoyed. If you can tolerate some jank for the power fantasy, you'll be fine. And honestly, Prototype is one of those games where a little jank doesn't kill it. Because the fun part is the sandbox insanity, not perfectly tuned competitive combat. Alright, quick one. Did you play Prototype back in the day, or would this be your first time? Because first timers always have the same reaction. Why does this feel like superhero GTA, but angrier? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you want more, is it still worth it in 2025-2026 breakdowns, hit subscribe. I'm doing a bunch of these. What kind of player will still love Prototype in 2025? Prototype is still worth it if you like power fantasy games where you become unstoppable, open world chaos more than tight narrative, movement systems you can feel, running rooftops, gliding, launching, messy fun over polished perfection. Prototype is not worth it if you need modern AAA presentation, deep RPG choices, clean mission designs, a world that feels alive in a 2025 way, consistent technical smoothness without tweaking. This is basically the difference between I want to experience a classic sandbox monster game and I want a modern open world game that competes with 2025 releases. Prototype isn't competing with modern releases, it's doing its own thing, and that thing is still fun. So should you play it in late 2025? And my honest answer, yes, with conditions. If you catch Prototype on sale on PC and you're willing to do a little troubleshooting if needed, it's a great weekend rampage game. If you're on console and you're okay with the fact that HD versions aren't some miracle remaster, the Biohazard bundle is still the cleanest way to get Prototype 1 and 2 together. Because here's the secret, even when parts of Prototype feel old, the core is still sick. Movement still rules, combat is still ridiculous, the combat is still awesome, and there still aren't many games that let you play as a walking biological apocalypse in an open city. So here are my best tips if you're jumping in right now. Don't judge it by the first 20 minutes. Once you unlock more powers, it opens up. Treat side content like a buffet, not homework. Do what's fun, skip what's not. If you're on PC and something's busted, check PC Gaming Wiki first. It usually saves you time. So yeah, end of 2025 verdict, Prototype is still worth playing, as long as you go in expecting an older, open-world structure and the occasional technical weirdness. But if you want a game that lets you move like a demon and fight like a horror movie, Prototype still delivers. Alright, question for the comments. If Prototype came back today, proper remake, modern city tech, modern destruction, would you want it to stay gritty and horror-ish or go full superhero power trip? Alright, I'm out. Go consume someone and pretend you're undercover.